need to take these off. That's not the red leader like. Well, hello. We're back 4 months later after the last video. Life has happened in that 4 months. So I've actually been thinking of doing this video for a long time. I don't know how to put it. I've been thinking about it since I first saw reaction videos, and that would be doing red leader's makeup again, but also while reacting to the first time I did it, pretty much I learned how to do special effects makeup for red leader. So it's come a long way since then. And that was even before his costume was actually even done. So now I actually get to show you the whole thing. Now we're just gonna see where this goes. I can already know right off the bat that it's massively different. So yeah, I mean, we'll just get started with that. I'm actually gonna be talking through this makeup video, so it is going to be longer. And you know, I'll do my best to stay interesting and not make an excessive amount of weird faces at the camera. Forgot what my music selection was like. Pretty much free. Oh, I get me with short hair. So actually, first things first, I already have my lenses in when I started the that one, so I'm gonna go ahead. This is gonna make this a little bit interesting because I changed the lenses that I wore for him. I'm only gonna be having one in to start because I can't see through the other one. That's though, you know, it's something else. I did use red lenses, and I normally actually do wear red lenses for red leader because I kind of like pulling on the whole monster toward thing, but I decided to go gray today, and then we're gonna hold off on this one because it's gonna be on the destroyed half of his face, so something different happens for that. Okay. Ah, stop. Oh. Second thing, I started with foundation. One thing that I've learned since then is that if you are gonna be using liquid latex on your face, you can't have things under it. Or some people can. I can't because it just falls right off. I have, you know, oily to combination skin, so it's not always the best scenario. So usually if I'm doing things where I have to glue stuff to my face, anything like that, I have to start fresh. This is gonna be the base layer for things, and then you put whatever your dimension part is going to be. Do I even have more in here? Whatever you're using. Some people use cotton, some people use toilet paper, some people use paper towels. It really depends on what you have around. Some people just use layers and layers of liquid latex. I'm pulling this back. Just gonna stick this on random parts of my face. I like to use toilet paper because it's cheap and it's everywhere, and it was everywhere. So I grabbed my other bottle of liquid latex. It's much bigger and much newer, so hopefully this will work a little better. And on top of that first layer, which is mostly dry right now, I'm just gonna kind of, oh, the fumes, they hit the eye and it hurt. Just in key places this time, and it's gonna stick better too. So I do like to do one across there. I think my favorite time I ever did his makeup, I had a hole right here. That was really cool. I think I did that for Halloween one year. I would say you want to work in layers. You do want to make sure that they're all nailed down pretty far. I cover all of the edges of toilet paper. I've had conventions where it's like peeled off halfway, which is a no fun. Injury makeup is an imperfect science. Blend stuff out, you know, make sure that it is where you want it to be. It is an injury. Like, it's not supposed to look like any one thing in particular. As long as it's textured and gross, you will have nailed it. We started off with this because it is gonna be covered by the base, you know, of whatever makeup you're using, foundation, BB cream, whatever. Normally I use BB cream for Tord because it's a lot lighter and it's just, it doesn't have that like high glam makeup look, which I really don't like for dude characters a lot of the time. Usually if I'm doing a character that I want to be like, you know, pretty or whatever, I'll use foundation and I'll put a lot of effort into that kind of like poreless whatever. He's got this going on, so I think a few pores showing through is not going to be the end of the world, you know? That being said, I do want my foundation to actually stick to my face, so this is a lot of primer, and I'm just realizing that now. I will point out that I did not wash my face today, so I did not put on moisturizer either. I have heard that moisturizer and washing your face makes makeup look nicer. And it does. Did I do it? No. e.l.f. Poreless Primer, I found it in the store finally after hearing about it from a lot of different people. I seem to like it. It seems to help foundation stick on, and I have, you know, potholes for pores. So while that's doing that, we're gonna go watch a little bit more. Young me using a brush to apply foundation. Okay, so I used foundation. I don't know what I was using back then. Now I use this. I think I bought it. I'm also gonna let you know right now, I'm not using a brush to apply this. I should be, but I'm not. Also, because I'm lazy for this half, but also for this half, it's hard to get in all the crevasse. There's a bug on my window. I'm gonna start on this half just to give this a few more minutes. And man, I'm not gonna go overboard on it because again, I kind of like to preserve a little bit of skin texture just to keep things fairly naturalistic. Like, Tord is not some glam person. I mean, you know, long and short of it, he's a soldier, so he's not going to have a perfect face. Alright, so as you can tell, we put foundation on. Let me see if I can focus it a little bit more. It's all kind of blended in now, which, cool. So we're gonna let this side chill out because I'm not going to be doing the same things on both sides. So we're gonna be focusing on doing this side, but we'll see what happens in the video because that's a thing. Contouring. Smart. I only contoured one half of my face, chill, and then blending it in, still with the jawline. Weird, Martha, why are you doing that? Okay, so in the video, contouring with a contour stick, still use it. It's the NYX Wonder Stick. Honestly, I like it a lot. It has been my bestie for cosplay since I started this channel, clearly, since I think that was my first makeup video that I ever put out. For Tord, I really like just following my natural contours. I already got a square face anyways, which is pretty androgynous, so I just kind of make that the most of it. What I like to do, I have a very square face, like I said, so I square off my cheekbones. I also do a whole lot with jawline because that's one of the things that I like to make pop the most as far as dude cosplay goes. You gotta love a jawline. I'm sorry, they're incredible. So I want to make the most of mine. You might notice in like every single makeup video ever, I like open my mouth while I do it. That's because the skin on your jawline moves when you open your mouth and you extend your jaw. And I used to notice I would just do it with it closed, and then I'd open my mouth and then I'd have like an orange line all the way up here. And I was like, that's not normal. So I started opening it just so I can do the contour when it's open, so I don't get the orange line moving up my face. But then also it pulls the line farther underneath, which looks better in my opinion. And then it kind of like does that whole thing where you like narrow your cheeks and it looks all like, and I really like that on me. And then just, you know, general contour around the head. I don't do a ton on the forehead because his bangs cover it, but you know, just enough to like give us a little dimension. Probably just do a little on here too, even though I didn't put anything there. One of the things that I do try and go for is very like for a little bit of a higher cheekbone with him, and kind of just maintaining a very light kind of youthful face. Oh wait, we need to wash the thing. The next section right here is with the highlighter, which is the other half of the contour stick. You know, you put on your cheekbones. I've probably been putting it less places. Let's watch it blend out. Yeah, I did not blend that very well. Young me, what are you doing? Please stop. You know what I should have been doing way back in the day. The tops of the cheekbone, where you want the light to catch, is what you're going to be highlighting. I also do on top of my jawline because I really, really like that popping. I contoured my nose actually in this one, and I kind of still do a little bit, but just the end. So now I tend to just like highlight right here, and I'm okay with it. And then with the highlight, I do bring it up a little bit into this contour right here just to give it a more natural blending out. I'm gonna pull that up a little because I kind of did go a little too far down. But that's pretty much what that contour looks like. I don't think I was doing double layers of contour when I filmed this one, but we're going to find out. Let's see. Oh, there we go, blending again. Okay, so now we're just setting it with powder. Still doing that. We gotta love our airspun. To be honest, I'm not the hugest fan of it. I know I really, really liked it to start off with. Now I'm just getting kind of sick of it because it feels a little bit thick and chunky to me. I use one of these brushes, which is technically, from what I understand, a foundation brush, but I don't really care. You kind of get some on your brush, and then you tap off all of the excess. We are only going to be setting one half of my face right now because the other half has the liquid latex on it, which is still kind of doing its thing. So we're only setting really what it hasn't, what, you know, we haven't latexed. One thing I will say is that setting powder is important as a concept. It is going to help your foundation hold in place, and it will help it stay on. It helps blend it out better. One of the best pieces of advice that I ever got from watching makeup videos, I think it was James Charles, is that you do your liquids and your creams first, and then you set it with powder, but using the powder is going to give you a better surface to use powder pigments on top of, because they're the same chemistry and it's just going to work better. So like if you used a liquid, a foundation, a cream blush, stuff like that, you would do it before this guy. So what next, younger me? Oh, okay. So we going straight in with that blush. No, pretty much these days. After I do a cream contour, depending on the character, and how grizzled I want them to look, I'll go in and deepen the contour with more powder. The Wanderlust palette from Target, actually it's a really rad palette, I use it a lot. These 3 brown shades right here is what I have decided are my contour shades, even though it's probably not. I just take this one and then brush it through all 3. So I've gotten a lot more creative since then about the colors and how I use them on my face. With Tord, he does strike me as a more pink toned person. Blush I put right here on top of the cheekbone, and I kind of work it into the contour, and I'll bring it up on the side. Sometimes I'll bring it into the jawline. Depending on the character, I'll like dust the chin very slightly. I've put on so much foundation and contour that my face is now just white and beige and different shades of bronzer, essentially. And I need to bring other colors into it so I don't look dead. This is a NYX blush that I have owned for a very long time. After that, now, and for Tord and for some characters, Tord, I'm going to say I use it because, again, we're looking at Red Leader here. He's a soldier, he's outside a lot, he's doing a lot of things, he's getting down and dirty and literally throwing himself in front of bullets. He goes outside. So we're gonna take a bronzer. This stuff, it smells really good. I don't know what brand it is, but it smells like the beach. And it's honestly one of my favorite parts of using it. Just get the same as the blush brush. And we'll just kind of swipe it very carefully across. The point of this stuff is to pretty much hit the spots where sun hits on your face. The most times you get a sunburn, it's going to be across your face. So if someone was getting a lot of sun exposure, it would be right about here. So I tend to do that. I'll bring it, you know, into the contour and everything because we like to blend things. But that's just kind of gives you that extra level of like color back in your face. Highlighter, all right. So little me went hard with that highlighter. Right now these days, I think in that one I'm using just like a plain white sparkly thingy. We're going back into this palette. I honestly use it a lot for a lot of things. The shade Illusion, which is right up here in this top corner, you can tell I use it a lot. It's a really good warm shimmer shade, which I like to have on my cheekbones, and it shows up really well and it reads nice, and, you know, it just makes me feel pretty. So it makes Tord feel pretty. I use this flat one, which I also hear is a concealer brush, but you know what? Now it's a highlighter. You just kind of swipe it on the cheekbone. You can kind of see it right there. I also tend to put some right here, right on the tip of the nose. So that's all I really do for highlight for him there. All right. Be highlighting the bottom of my chin. I don't know what that's about. Okay. I really was into anime eyes when I made this, so I did a whole lot of stuff as far as eyeliner goes. That's changed. I'm not really as, you know, as into it or using anime eyes for him. Because of that, his eye makeup tends to be very simple. We're going to grab this brush. It actually comes with the Wanderlust palette, which is really nice. It's a fave, I'm not gonna lie. And then we're gonna go right into the shade Coast, which is on the end right here. That's probably the coolest shade of the browns. You know, as always, tap off the excess. And then go right into this part of your eye. We do this because it's going to, as you can tell, darken right here, which makes the eyes look a little bit more sunken in and farther back into the head, is to bring it down the bridge of the nose as a way to just kind of like bring that out more. And also on this eye too, even though it's a little, you know, textured right now. And I just want to be clear, anytime I talk about him as a character, please, this is barely him from the show anymore. He has gone through so many headcanons that I have. I have a very specific version of the character that I like to do, and it's nothing like most of fanon, canon, or anything. So sorry about that. But that's just how it be. Now we have a whole lot more of like stern angry going on. We're gonna go into the NYX Ultimate Edit, which is all the red shades. Kind of looks like fire, really like it. It has a great red and a very great dark brown on the end of it, but today we're going into the red with the same brush because I am lazy. I'm just gonna put it right here and kind of pull it down too. It is okay to pull it 100% across. Like, he doesn't sleep. Cool. Next thing we're gonna take for the eye, and this is again, because I just want to, same brush into kind of a purpley shade, I guess. It's the Go Girl. I'm back in that Wanderlust palette. Just take a very, very small amount of it and just kind of put it right here in that center corner and pull it down and follow kind of like, everyone has it like that. Look, none of us sleep, so we all kind of have a little bit of an eye bag right here, so just kind of follow that and just make like a little V underneath, and that just kind of brings it a little bit higher level sick. So I'm gonna go on a long time with this eye makeup. Ooh, the white underneath, really. Bringing out the crease. One thing I really liked doing at that point in my life was making my eyes look as large as possible. We have since changed. And, oh, not the cat eye. Oh dear. Oh, younger me, you fool. I really went all out on that anime eye. All right, so now we're doing brows. Brows, I pretty much still do the same way. Probably different color choices. I have a white eyeliner that I use to block out colors. You know, I use my regular brows. And then I like just paint eyeshadow over them. Okay, so we're gonna do that now. NYX eyeliner. Wow, this is so old. The NYX is gone. It's the jumbo eye pencil in the shade of Milk. It is great for doing your waterline and all that great stuff, but I also find that it's great for covering eyebrows. If you still want to use like the real shape of your brow, but you're like me and all of your hair is black. This has not changed. I really figured out how to do this well a long time ago, and I like it a lot. I have this palette. It does not exist anymore. As you can tell, it has been well loved. But they no longer sell this one. I don't know why, it's a great palette. For his eyebrows, I use a lot of these shades right here, a whole lot of golds and a whole lot of light browns. For some reason, that has been the only colors that I have found that actually stay warm on top of the icy white, and I see no reason to, you know, change that. And it's genuinely the only reason why I haven't thrown this palette away, even though it's far too old for its own good. But you can see it really comes through with this great sandy brown shade that really matches my wig, and I don't see any reason to change that. So that's Eyebrow. And that sounded like zebra. And allow us to continue. Highlighting the brow bone. You know, everyone does. Or no, that's actually just white eyeliner. Also, I started with yellow. I don't know what's up with that. Bad choices, Martha. Bad choice. And I also think I only did one eyebrow. I think my sister was in the room with me. Okay, here we go. Marking out the lips, that's, you know, still do that, but now I just kind of do it when I'm doing my foundation and I don't really care. It rubs off, but it rubs off kind of naturally in a way so you still kind of get that toned down lip look, but it's not gonna be like chunkalunky. One thing that I do, I don't know if I did it in this one. I started wide, oh, we putting on lip gloss, nice. This I still do. I have a very large mouth, and so this is gonna sound a little bit strange, but what I like to do is just pull out the outer corners, which takes my fairly, you know, tall mouth and just kind of pulls it out a little bit farther. But then also naturally the corners of my mouth turn down, so having that turn up kind of, most people have the turn up at the corners of their mouth, so that kind of brings back that level of, you know, that sort of thing. See what's next. Okay, so this is where I start going in with the what I used to use for special effects makeup. Instead of, you know, doing that, I'm going to give him freckles. It's something I have been doing for him for a long time. Like how they look, it kind of gives a nice contrast of like, oh look, it's toward, but no, it's not. So I'm not gonna do a ton because, again, he's older and people kind of grow out of those a little bit, depending on who you are. I grew out of mine mainly because my skin was sucky, but you know, I'm not the best at freckles. I can do them well enough for me. And honestly, that's where we leave it. I'm just gonna try and avoid the spot that I highlighted because I don't want to disturb that. Ooh, and then also we can do his facial hair a little bit. Hold on, so in the video I'm using scarring liquid as opposed to liquid latex, mainly because I was thinking about scar, so pull in, because that's what scarring liquid does. It pulls your skin together and it kind of puts dents in instead of building up. Very useful if you're doing things like long cuts or incision kind of stuff. Not so great if you're going for that whole, hey, half my face got blasted off look. And you know, as one does. There's me putting a little bit of liquid latex on top of it because I didn't know what I was doing and I didn't really know what that was going to do to anything, to be fair. Aside from give texture, which it didn't really, so. And I'm also just putting it flat on my face so it's not actually achieving anything. And then we let it dry, and we did another one. Yes, great filming. Okay, so before we get into that section of like filming off this side, we are just going to use the same pencil because, oh, you know, I should probably tell you what it is. It's just an e.l.f. eyeliner. I use it mainly for things that are not eyeliner, so it doesn't have to be good. We're going to pull down mostly right here, mainly because anything on his chin will be affected by the scarring. Scarring kind of affect, you know, you don't grow body hair through scars because the scar tissue just isn't right for it. So we are mainly going to focus on the jawline. It's honestly one of my favorite places to do facial hair anyways. So I kind of like blocked in with this little dude right here. And then I'm gonna go in and go back to that brush that I used for my eyebrows. We call it the angle flat brush, is great if you're ever doing hair texture for things, because it does get very good lines if you you know, kind of use it like you press down and pull, you get a nice thick chunky one up here, and then you pull it and then it fades out, and I just dropped it. It looks very natural. Back into that e.l.f. palette since it seems to be towards your color. And go into that light brown that I was using before. Just kind of... And go both directions, because you're going to want to have that texture. You're going to want to pull it fairly soft. Especially if your character has lighter hair. You may have noticed that I did the same thing where I opened my mouth that I did for the contour. Again, it's because when you open your mouth, the skin moves, and I don't want to like open my mouth and then have my beard move up my face, if you get what I'm trying to go for. I am going to use a slightly darker one. Get more texture. Cool. So yeah, that's the normal half of Tord. I believe the next section of the video is going in and contouring this, which is the fun part, because this is where it comes alive. I think I'm going in with a brown eyeshadow right here and drawing what looks like tiger stripes, which, you know, accurate to the cartoon. But not really the most gross, accurate, or, you know, me digging around for things because I realized it wasn't enough. Putting a concealer on top of it, which just kind of blends it a little bit in more and gives you more of that like mottled kind of skin thing. So props for me for doing that. And then taking like a pencil and going in and doing fine lines on top of the larger colors and then highlighting it. A lot of these things are great in principle, and I just used them wrong. Again, because it was my first time, I'm sorry. Okay, so now that we've seen the old way, what I'm going to introduce you wonderful people to are 4 of my favorite things in the world. These guys. So these I got from Party City on Halloween. Pretty much they are a Bruise palette kit. However, a lot of the colors can be used for a whole lot of other things. Pretty much we're wrecking up this. And that's going to take a lot of colors. First things first. Red blush, and we're gonna go in and very lightly just kind of, now that everything's dry, dust on top of things, because the parts that are standing up are gonna pick it up more. And just be careful of your other side because you don't want to ruin it. But that's gonna get us started with that kind of like, hey, this is not healthy skin kind of look. So I'm gonna take this brush right here. It's weird and it's flat and I don't really know what it's for. But I'm gonna put it right into like this orangey reddy shade of things. And I'm gonna go in and just start putting it in places. This is where stuff gets kind of artistic, if you want to say it that way. I put the red in the low parts, but I put it a lot of places. This is where we kind of draw out what the scarring looks like. You know, we put down all this texture, but now you're going to be taking that texture and bringing it to life. Like this right here, it looks gross, but it's not as gross as it could be. So now I'm going in with this shade. It's a little bit purple. Another favorite. And this one I'm gonna go along the larger pieces and just darken stuff up. That's what it looks like with that second layer on top of it. And back with this NYX Ultimate Edit and tone down some of those yellowier, I don't know the word for it, I don't think it exists. Some of these patches right here, so they don't stick out as much. They're kind of, the foundation on them has kind of gotten a little bit, you know, wiped off or something. And it's looking very muscly. You know, we're going for, hi, my robot exploded around me and I have made so many bad life choices. We're pretty much just using this red to blend things out more. Cool. And then I'm actually fairly happy with it. I think I need to bring more across though, because I do have some latex there, but so now that's done. You have successfully exploded your face. How does that feel? I think the next part of the video is just me putting on the rest of the cosplay, which takes a while. So, okay, so we're doing bandages. That I can do. Because he does have, he bandages his neck, one can assume, because, you know, I actually don't know. He was doing that before the accident. So I have these. I got them at Savers around Halloween. And I figure he's gross and he's dirty. So let's do that. I'm actually gonna finish pulling that on as well, because we're about to start doing a whole lot of things. I do need to put in my second contact now before I forget and we start getting into the robot arm and things. So I'm just putting in a whiteout lens right now. Why I do the whiteout eye? I really like how it looks. It is so unnerving. Next layer that goes on is going to be his sweatshirt. I have modified it. It is a crop top now with no sleeves. Because just the way that the jacket goes over things, and the fit that I needed and what I wanted showing. So this goes on. So you can see the bandages are covering everything. The hood is good. One of the few reasons why I'm actually like showing this process is because I can't put the wig on until almost the very end of things. And I want you to see it done. And I guess, you know, enjoy the process, because it's also in the original video where I used his normal sweatshirt for it. Putting in the fangs, no fun. I used to do an eye patch for Red Leader. I lost the eye patch at the first convention I brought it to, and I've never worn it since. Okay, so we can just skip on to the next layer. I'm gonna take the chair out of the way. Is actually this red vest. I got it because the jacket that I have ended up being too short and I needed to have more red showing somewhere. This sleeve rolls down, as you can guess. This is gonna be the robot arm and this one is not. So this is the jacket. It is a modified raincoat that I found at a thrift store. Same when I got the sweatshirt. Altered it a lot, as you can tell. Put as many military ranking insignia that I could find and justify onto it. Some of them are fake. From like the self-given ones, like if I remember correctly, the stripes, the lapels were based off of communist army uniforms, little things like that I kind of threw in there. So I got the buttons are from Soviet war uniforms as well, because it's Tord and he's a communist. And I thought he would really dig that. He's probably the only person in the Red Army that has them. So this you can see, the crest on the back is one that I found for the fake last name that I made up for my headcanons. But it is a Norwegian heraldry. This part can get a little dicey with the wig on. He does have his favorite gun, which is named Anastasia, in case no one wanted to know. I have 2 side holsters for him. So that's on. I'm gonna do his belts next. So we have this one. Also got this at the Halloween store. I got most of my stuff from the Halloween store. Purely decorative. I know if you were, for reals carrying these, you wouldn't want them around your waist like this. We got this bad boy, bullets, very edgy. It goes on top of that one because that one kept on falling off. And kind of pull it to the side, just so we get the nice crisscross. This is the wig. I get this question a lot. It's a base wig from Amazon that I styled while tipsy. So no, I don't remember how I did it. It involved a straightener and curling things and a whole lot of fabric glue. That's all I got. I'm so sorry. As long as it's all pulled down and covered and everything. So that's that. Robot arm. The arm goes in 3 pieces. It goes in 3 pieces because I'm bad at designing things, and that was just how it ended up. So, the first part is the glove part. Looks like this. It has all the hand pieces on it, which is why I don't put it on until the very end. It's on a glove because ain't nobody want to put those pieces on every time. The second piece that we have is the part that goes on the top of the hand. Wait a second. Looks like this. It's separate because this is where the circuit lives for the lights that go inside of it. They have this switch right here. Turns it on and off. I have the battery. There's a pocket for the battery inside the coat. And then the last piece is going to be the arm piece. I decided very early on in the process of designing Red Leader that he was only going to have from the elbow down cut off because I like using my arm, and arms move a lot, so they are very hard to design for. I am bad at it. I hate props to begin with. So doing half an arm, including a hand, was going to be difficult enough as it is, which is why I have his jacket cover half of it. There could be more under there. There could not be. Who knows? Not my Red Leader. So the glove's pretty self-explanatory. Just slide it right on. You get your hand pieces and it's all covered. The next piece is the top of the hand. There's 2 pieces of elastic on the underside, and they just kind of slide right over like bracelets. And you hope that hell the finger pieces don't fall off. Or the bottom of the, or the palm of the hand. Right, so this one kind of sits right here like this. The wires, I don't have a problem with them showing given that it is a robot arm. Go tucked up inside the sleeve. You reach inside, you can kind of like, you pull in the rest of it. get the battery into the little bag that it goes in so it's not like all up against my binder, and pull in the rest of it. I believe the switch is still out. You want to have enough to be able to extend your arms still, but you still want to be able to click the button, which I'm going to turn on now because I'm not going to feel like doing it later. Alright, so that's everything that was inside of it. Button up that top. Oh, I'm sweaty. Button that up. And then this part, slide right over the arm. It is Warbler and foam, so it's fairly bendy. And then it has these straps on it, which were kind of a last minute thing because my original plan didn't work and we had to do something. If I could redesign the arm again, it would look very different. This is a learning process. Snap those into place. You have your robot arm. And one last piece. I put a glove on the other side because his other hand was feeling a little naked. There he is, in all of his communist glory. I hope you enjoyed seeing the process and all of the wonderful reactions to the video. I'm really proud with how far he's come since I first started this, maybe 2 years ago now, and I'm happy to share it with y'all. So now I need to actually do something in cosplay instead of just put it on, so I'm gonna go do that. I guess I'm wrapping this up here and now. As always, stay rad, keep cosplaying, stay safe, stay home, and wash your hands. Yeah, bye!